Welcome back, everyone. We have a great guest. We have Nikki Misery from New Year's Day. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I woke up. It's a good day. Can't complain.
Right?
How you doing?
Um, I'm doing great, dude. Just busy as shit as always. You know how it works.
Yeah,
Always.
every day's a good
Well,
day.
well, let's get into this. I feel like everyone hardly talks about you graduating from MI, and that was right before you joined New Year's Day. What made you pick MI over every other school?
Oddly enough, I was going through this weird like just going nowhere phase in Southern California. I dropped out of college at that point. I didn't really have anything I really wanted to do, and I was dating this one girl, and her mom just hated me. And she's like, "You're dating this one guy who's going nowhere," which was kind of true. I was just this like my early 20s. I was just partying and just the days were just a blur. And one time, like I think she was like putting me down or something. It really hit me. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna go handle business. And then I'm sitting there like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I even want to do with my life? And I found MI, and obviously I've always loved music. I grew up with rock and roll and the Orange County punk rock scene, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And this was like maybe 5, 6 years after I graduated high school,
Mhm.
maybe less than that. And yeah, then I just went to MI and I handled it. And a lot of people were dropping out, and it was like one of those determination things. I mean, obviously the relationship didn't last, and I stuck with school anyway. But it seemed to have done me some good.
That's crazy. What'd you guys pick? Well, what did you pick as your audition songs? Because you have to audition to go there.
Yeah, I did this terrible, very very bad like acoustic recording like at 2 a.m. of Marilyn Manson's "The Nobodies."
Nice. That's
And
cool.
yeah, I think I was like I came home from a night out and I was like, oh, I got to do this, so I could send this in. And it was on this terrible like handheld like little recorder, like a Talkboy kind of thing. And yeah, I to be honest, I don't know how or why they accepted me because it was that bad, but I'm very thankful.
I think they knew you were destined for greatness. Let's just
Yeah,
be honest
we'll,
here.
we'll go with that one.
What were your favorite classes while going there?
um, God, what class wasn't my favorite? They were all so cool and so interesting. I remember like my first classes were always single string and rhythm, and we're sitting there just learning, and sometimes I just laugh, just in this kind of disbelief, like I can't believe this is school, like this is what I'm learning. But yeah, the classes were all awesome. There was nothing I loved more than the other. But some of my favorite teachers there was like Tom Kolb, Lenny
Ooh,
Whitegreen,
nice.
Dan Gilbert, and
Ooh,
what was his name? Greg Harrison.
I
All
love all
so
those
great.
guys.
Yeah, they're all amazing. Tom Kolb was the only person who had cooler hair than me, but yeah, and then me and Lenny, like we were boys. Like he became more of a friend than a teacher, but they
Mhm.
were all very huge inspirations to keep me pushing. And I was very intimidated going there because like I was never I'm a like real musician growing up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was more of a punk rock kid, so it was just about picking up and playing. It doesn't matter if it was in time, if it was in tune. I was that kid. And then going to MI, you're with all these people who are like way younger than me, but they were so pro, and it was very
Yeah.
like intimidating at first. And it's very cool just to like I guess not be so deterred by it and more like inspired by it.
And with the live performances, did you, since your punk rock roots, did you stick with punk rock or did you do hard rock, heavy metal,
Oh no, I
jazz,
I did it all. I did it all. One of my
country?
buddies who I met there was this who I called him Jam because he looked like Jam from Detroit Rock City. But his name was Matt Varley, and
Mhm.
he was the only other person who I know who went on to do big and great things. Right now, I think he was. Well, last time I talked to him, well, he went in, graduated drums, and then went back and started interning for McGee, and then also he was like stage managing Kiss, and then was Nikki Sixx's bass tech, and then like something CEO. It's not CEO, but of this pyro company. And one of the last times I saw him live uh, was he was doing pyro for Avenged Sevenfold. So
Yeah.
I forgot the original question of where I was going with this. Oh yeah, the live performances. Yeah, definitely. Because me and him, we started jamming a lot, and he would really get me like in time. Like if I would go off time, I would get a drumstick thrown at me,
Dang.
and we we started playing all kinds of music because he got me into pop. It's like, dude, you could start making money doing pop music. I was like, that's stupid. That's not punk rock. And then just realizing like, wow, there's so much more to music than I guess just playing in a band. So we started getting into that, and I was playing like reggae LPWs, you know, the pop rock stuff, the modern rock, the hard rock, the metal. I was just doing as much as I can to get my experience out there and just to keep playing with other people.
Hell yeah. That's pretty cool though. And then so right after that, you joined New Year's Day in 2011, replacing Matt. How'd you end up getting that gig?
Well, oddly enough, I was after that I was in this band called Sexual Harassment, which was getting some wild attention around the LA Hollywood area, and I actually left that one and I helped join Stitched Up Heart with Mixie before I joined New Year's Day. And then I met Ashley at Bar Sinister. I was actually dragged to Bar Sinister because Mixie at the time, we were trying to get onto Hollywood Waste. And I just worked this double. Last thing I wanted to do was get dressed and go out. So she eventually talked me into it. And I dressed up like this gothy 70s Pee Wee Herman, like in rebellion to go to Bar Sing because I didn't want to go. I was in like this ruffle shirt. Kind of if you took like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Just like had him goth, like that was me. Like my hair was really flat and like combed over, and I wore these big like thick glasses but full makeup. And I remember just sitting there at Bar Sinister just miserable with life, and this girl in all white creeps out to the crowd, points at me, and it's like, I think I should know you. And it turned out to be Ash.
Dang.
And then less than a year later I replaced Matt and started playing guitar in her band.
Dang, and that's crazy because Stitch Up Heart still made it. They're doing big shit right now too. So that's crazy.
They're killing it. That's awesome to see for them too.
Dang. Imagine like if you didn't leave and you would have been in there, you would still have done big shit still, you know? That's crazy.
New Year's Day was more my speed because they were going for that more Halloweeny theatrical kind of tunes at the time. Although now we've evolved from that, which obviously we've all evolved with it. But yeah, when I got that offer, that's more my speed.
You guys evolved a lot.
I do appreciate that because it's like at least we're not putting the same album out every year.
Going into that band, did you learn his parts or did you make them your own?
So of course I learned what he would play, and you know, being very I guess like MI trained at the time, I would play the parts exactly because that's how, you know, we learn it. And then throughout the tours, I would start developing my own style with it and kind of like making the parts my own. So like eventually, like I'll always start off playing it like as recorded, and then as we start, you know, jamming together, we like, you know, me and it was Anthony and Jake Jones at the time and Russell. I would start to like, you know, we'd all get on that same kind of like I guess energy, you know, and then all of a sudden things would kind of evolve and change, and you would add more like different stuff just to give that live show that live feel.
Definitely. And like what I looked at, because I was looking at your guys' Wikipedia, which that's what I tend to do in doing research. It seems like you bounced around the band a lot, unless it's wrong. It says you started off with lead, went to rhythm, then there's like a year where you're on bass, and then you went back to lead. Is that all correct?
No, that's true at all.
Yeah, like I was like, that's a lot of jumping, dude. That's crazy.
Wikipedia, I think, has been a little drunk lately, but yeah, no, it says I'm from New Orleans, and I'm not from New Orleans at all. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
and then
I've always been rhythm. They had one time where we didn't have a lead player, and I would play some of the leads, but I'm not a leady shreddy guy, so I mainly just stick with the rhythms.
That's crazy because like I feel like you're like kind of like the front guy in that band, like not counting Ash because she's the front lady, but you know, like you're the other face where when you're all over the stage and shit, man, you're crazy.
Yeah, it's that's why it's easier to do rhythms on those parts.
Right.
You know, the good old magic of open or whole notes, you know, and open chords. It's yeah, and like that was one of those things too. Exactly how I got that explosive stage performance was you know, like how am I supposed to stand out when someone else is like, you know, just sweep picking and doing these just insane shreddies all throughout the neck, and here I am just, it's like, how am I going to be remembered? How am I going to take the eyes off of that and go home, or have people going home going like, look at that guy. So I was like, let me just give him the biggest rock and roll show that I can give him.
Especially being the rhythm player, no one really looks at the rhythm player. It's all about leads, you know. So That's a compliment itself. That because like, dude, you put on a hell of a show anyway, so it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I take pride in that very much. So.
And you've been touring with New Year's Day for over 10 years now. How's your gear changed over the years?
Ooh, gear has definitely changed. Now we're all digital. Before, like I had the Marshall amp, I had this killer pedal board, which I really loved.
Yeah.
But then you got to do that little dance up front, like stomping all the different boxes. And me, like I was never a technical person too, so like all this stuff was just, I don't know, just way out of my brain range. But we got Brandon back in the band a few years back, and he's very technical. And now, like, they both run Kempers. I'm on the Line 6 Helix, and before I was even doing like even the little board just to switch through the tones. But now he's got me where like I don't have to worry about nothing. All I gotta do is just plug in and play and just go out there, and like my tones change like throughout the song. And then same with the tuning too, because a lot of the songs we have are in different tuning, so he just adjusts that in the computer. I don't know how this black magic happens, but he's a genius with that. And now we don't need like 20,000 guitars to bring on tour. We can just have our one, and then when the song comes, like I believe Vampire is all in like A sharp on the 7-string, and yeah,
that's crazy.
It's so wild now. Like it blows my mind, like what you can do with technology, because I'm still used to just plug in, and then stomp to your tones, but
it's crazy because you guys started, like you're saying, you're talking about bringing like big amps and millions of guitars and pedal boards. Now it's just like nothing. It's just a guitar, basically.
Yeah,
right?
It's the wildest thing. Like loading in and loading out. It's just like two things for us string players. We got the big guitar vault, which has like all our guitars. That's one, and then just this one box that has all of our amps, and it's just.
And then you guys are all at the bar while Tommy's taking down his set, right? Just
yeah, absolutely. Like, Tommy, you done yet? It's been like an hour.
Poor guy.
Yeah,
and then
still unfortunately have to do everything by hand.
Poor drummers. So you've been touring with them for since 2011. Has your tour rituals changed at all or stayed the same?
I want to say they changed, but it seems like they're partially the same. We all like to have our little dance parties and a few shots before we go on to get all loosey goosey and bring that rock and roll spirit in. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. We just have our little party. Everybody's like just one big unit, just having fun, dance, and then we go up on stage and try to just give a killer rock and roll show.
Yeah, it's always fun. And do you have any crazy eating habits on tour?
Yes. Me and Tommy, we love to find delicious barbecue everywhere we go. So he's the brisket man, I'm the ribs man, but that's one thing we do. When it's funny because when we're on tour, like I'll eat anything and everything. Like let's have all the best foods. Yes, I want to add that guacamole on. Bring it on, Yes, I want the big beers. And then when I'm home, it's all like strict diet, like back on like a schedule routine and all proper work and stuff like that. And then once tour happens, it's like
free for all.
Yeah, free for all, no rules, barbecue every day.
That's fucking funny, man. And so I looked, you guys played a lot of cool Warped Tours back in the day. Which ones were your favorite?
2017 was my absolute favorite, the best Warped Tour. Yeah, because like I said, I grew up in punk rock, so a lot of like the bands we've toured with or that we've usually played shows with up until like these radio festivals, like I didn't really know, I didn't really listen to, so to me it's just like cool. Like I'm obviously so stoked to go on tour, but like never with bands. I'm like, I want to go see them every day. But like Warped Tour 2017, we had like Adolescents, TSOL, the Dickies were on there, Municipal Waste, Creeper was on there, Relapse Symphony. They had so many cool bands and so many of our friends. And I just got to watch these punk rock legends. Like I think I remember like it was the second or third night of Warped Tour. Adolescents, they announced they're going to play the whole Blue album, which 14, 15, 16-year-old me, like that was like one of my favorite albums growing up, and it was like one of the most legendary experiences. I was sitting there right there just singing all the songs. Then Guar came on, and then they had like William Control and be like a dance party every night. Like we bring our bag of beers and just like the friends we made on that tour, like that kind of the bro downs, and it was it was honestly one of the greatest summers of my life.
Dang. So you made a lot of like lifelong friends from that tour and all that stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. Like when
Nice.
the Waste Boys come into town, I still always go see them. We still always talk about
Nice.
Warped Tour. Although like I knew the Creeper guys before then, but it's I love being able to see them. Yeah, I mean that was awesome. Again, like TSOL, adolescence, every day.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
It was so cool. And at the same time, you're touring, you're getting your band's name out there. You get to play
Yeah.
these killer rock shows. Yeah, Warped Tour was one of my favorites too. I do miss that tour.
I
It was so,
figured.
it was so sad too. I didn't realize what day it was, but one of my buddies from work sends me this thing, and they announced like Warped Tour, and like our band's name was on it. I'm like, wait, what is going on? I sent it to Ash. I was like, Ash, is this real? She's like, stop. I was like, what? She's like, what's today? I'm like, it's April 1st. April Fool's thing. That totally got me.
Ash is funny. That's awesome as fuck, man. That's funny. And you guys done some of the coolest videos. I was checking them out while doing my research. Did you keep any of the props? Because I know, like in Shut Up, you had the Nikki Misery vice president, or you wore like some cool stuff and Come For Me and stuff like that.
Come For Me, oddly enough, that was just like these little it was like, oh god, what's it called? Like Spirit Halloween mariachi outfits that we got. So unfortunately we sold those. I do have a stack of the Joker cards still from Gangsta. And although I wish I had the Nikki Misery vice president card. That one I don't know what happened to. Maybe Ash has those. But I do have the sprayed black guitar from Hurts Like Hell, and that's in our storage unit. I think that's kind of it.
Dang, I would expect more from you, man. You seem like a collector.
I usually am, which is kind of weird. It's tripping me out. Like now I'm like looking around my room, like, do I have anything else? Like what else was from that? I almost want to say the little guitar I was playing during Come For Me is like my actual ukuleles and guitaleles. Assuming if I'm remembering right, if that's what I had. But with the mariachi outfit, I've always wanted a real one. So that's why I was like, I'm going to sell that one because I'm going to get a real one day.
Have you gotten a real one yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. I've been wanting one ever since I saw Desperado.
Come on, that could be your like New Year's Day get up when you go on stage. Come on, everyone.
Oh, that would just be my everyday get up. That'd be on Monday through Sunday for sure.
And what I found cool about Hurts Like Hell, you guys got these new jackets, and I think Tommy has a vest. You guys got the same guy that makes Rhea Ripley's. How'd that come about?
Well, actually, Ash hit him up. So we were the first guys, the first group to get him and start putting his name out there. And then Rhea Ripley, and then Motionless, and then Ice Nine, and then Black Veil all followed suit. But yeah, so we actually got him in touch with all those cats. But we actually, every member of the band, we both got a jacket and a vest.
Oh shit, that's
so
cool.
I used two of my Straight to Hells for that one, and because sometimes like when you're playing some of those festivals and like that sun's right on you, I'm like, I ain't wearing no leather jacket up there.
Right.
I mean, I try sometimes, but man.
Oh, people don't get it. It's hot down where the crowd is, but it's hotter on stage because you're all the movement and everything,
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Very much so.
It's crazy. And then, like I said, you guys recorded some of the coolest music videos. What's your top 5 favorite music videos you've done?
Okay, definitely number 1 is Vampire.
That one's cool.
Because like honestly, I hate doing music videos and photo shoots. Mm-hmm. So my favorite one, actually, I'll go with this. My favorite ones are Malevolence and Skeletons because I didn't have to do anything in it. And it was just Ash. And it's so funny because like she'll get like shit on for that, and none of these people know that we're always like, no. You could just film her. Let her take the pictures. Like we don't need to be part of it. But I guess overall, like with ones I was in, Vampire, just because I did my part in a green screen. It took like less than 10 minutes, and I was done. The second one would probably be Come For Me because that was actually really fun to do. That was really fun. Like you could tell, like when I'm doing the mariachi scenes, I was just living my best.
Biggest smile of your ever.
Oh yeah, that was a full on real smile. I almost changed my name to Nikki Smiles that day.
That would have been a good one.
What was another fun one?
I'm surprised it's not Kill or Be Killed. Like you're like killing it in that,
Oddly enough, like that one, I think I was in a bad mood. I remember Hurts Like Hell. I was in a bad mood.
That's why you guys break all your gear. It makes sense now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I don't know why. Whenever we have to do music videos, I get in these just bad moods. Like, God, I don't want to do this. Stupid music videos. Why can't I just sit at home or go to work? I don't know. It makes no sense.
That's like the coolest job ever. Come on.
Yeah.
Angel Eyes is pretty cool too.
Angel Eyes was cool, but by the time like we got to like the party scenes, I remember like it was like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and they had some of them where like where they have like everybody in the crowd, and I'm actually behind a sofa sleeping. Like I couldn't stay up.
Oh, that's funny, man. That's crazy. And then is there any songs you guys wish you played more? Because you guys have a set list that like seems like it was a lot of the same for the longest, and then now you're adding the new stuff. But is there older stuff you wish you played or anything new on the record you haven't played?
Yes, yes, yes. I always want to just every time we play, I want to scrap all the songs we do and play like pretty much all new ones. If there are songs that we could play that we haven't played in forever, I would. One of my favorite ones was "I'm No Good." That was such a fun song to play. That one, Haunted Mansion Core, or I think it's called Any Last Words. Do Your Worst. I would love to play that one. Not the studio recordings, but the live versions that we used to do of My Dear when it was very spooky.
Nice.
Because that was like one of my favorite songs. I remember when I actually first saw New Year's Day as a band, that song came on. I was like, "What is this?" Nothing like the recording. Left Inside was one of my other favorite ones. I wish we could do Misunderstood or Done With You because those were some of my favorites off the record. We did Nocturnal. Just I guess the crowd wasn't that into it, but that was one of my favorite songs.
Crazy.
Yeah, and off this new one, we're doing all the songs I really love on this album. So yeah,
Dang.
I can keep going. I can just name any song that's not on the set list. That's what I want to play.
It's nice to hear you're an actual fan of your own band. Like that's nice to hear because there is people that are like, well, I get sick of playing these songs.
It's funny because I'll say that, and then like I'll be home for a week and I won't pick up an instrument or listen to the band, and then like say if I'm taking a shower and I'm listening to Spotify, like the songs will come on, and I'll start rocking. I'm like, man, these are good too. Like, oh, I want to play this again.
That's funny. And then you guys did a cover record. If you guys could go back and do another cover record, what songs would you love to cover?
Ooh, so they're actually talking about this again, although I'm not saying that, but they are. I've always loved like old school tunes, especially with Ash and like heartbreak songs. I think the what's her name? Was it Leslie Gore's like "You Don't Own Me" would be cool because they kind of like use that in Suicide Squad, so that'd be kind of cool with her Harley Quinn thing. I Hate Myself for Loving You by Joan Jett would be awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Maybe even Poison from Alice Cooper would be cool. Yeah, those are top 3 off the top of my head. I always like throw those songs at her. I was like, what about something like this?
Cool, man. Like, cause you guys killed it with "Don't Speak" and fucking Hostile and shit like that. What I remember watching like an interview where you're discussing because some people get really weird about that cover. They're like, you don't even probably really like Pantera. Vinnie Paul actually liked your guys' cover of that.
Yeah,
and
he did.
You guys went through him to get that. Like, okay, people don't get that. Like, it's crazy.
No, they have their own opinions, which for somehow just turn out to be fact in their head. And I'm like, wait, none of it happened that way. Like, no, Vinnie Paul dug it, man. I remember he told Ash that in Vegas. I forgot what festival it was. But yeah, I was there. I saw that happen. I seen it.
I seen it with my own eyes. So you've been touring for a very long time now. Do you have any favorite countries, states, or cities you love playing?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, granted, I'm gonna say this because for some reason, if I don't say this, people freak out. But like any chance I get to play anywhere is an absolute blessing. I'm very thankful for. But some of the places I get most excited about is New Orleans for sure. Just because I got family there, and I hardly ever get to see them unless I'm on tour. So it's such a cool time to go there.
Now we found out why you have that thing now. That's why they think you're from New Orleans.
Yeah. I was actually born in Houston, but right next door, not too bad. But yeah, all my family's from South Louisiana. So yeah, New Orleans is always so much fun to play. I love being able to go like to Germany,
Mhm.
That's one of my favorite spots. Just like walk around, like just the history of it. And I love going to like old countries where like you have churches that are older than, I
Yeah.
guess, like the United States in that sense. And any like historical place or a
Mhm.
place where they got great barbecue or a cool bar, that's my main jams. Like it don't matter where it is for the most part, but if I had to name spots, those would be cool. I mean, you know, UK is rad to play, just history, anything I guess outside of California.
Yeah.
That's
That's
all.
pretty cool. And what's cool is you guys are gonna go back to Europe this year, so is there any places you're looking forward to playing there?
Yeah. Although I don't remember exactly where we're going. But I did get moved to early next year, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. But yeah, so I think it's in January. And it's a short 10-day run. I know it's mostly UK. We do a couple European shows, but yeah, I'm just excited to go back, see
Right.
some familiar faces, freak
It's
out
been a
some more
few years.
people. Who knows? Who knows?
It's been a few years because you guys haven't even been back there since the pandemic because you guys took a little bit to come back as a band, which after that, which is we're glad you're back.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Last time we were in Europe was when everything was shutting down. I remember we were playing the garage in Glasgow,
Dang.
and I went into the venue and I finally got Wi-Fi. And I remember when we left, COVID was just a whisper. And then I remember I got Wi-Fi and I look at the news. They're like, Italy shuts down because of COVID. I'm like, wait,
Dang.
is this gonna be serious, guys? Like, should we worry about this? And obviously, Italy was the last place that we were scheduled on the tour. So by the time we got to Germany, everything was shutting down, and we're like, "Oh, fuck,
Dang.
we gotta turn around and go back home." So
Right.
we had to cancel the rest of the tour, rush all the way back, and we made it just before they put that international ban.
Dang. So you had been stuck there for a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
That would have been
a
crazy.
very, very costly experience.
It would have been. Hey,
But
but
yeah, we took some time off. It was like one of those things. It's like we're touring nonstop. Um, there's a lot of like tensions in the band at that time too,
yeah,
just with the constant touring,
yeah,
not being exactly where we wanted to be, and yeah, it was rough. And when we got back, it's like we just set it down. It's like if this is meant to happen, we'll come back to it. All these people were trying to keep themselves relevant, and I just didn't care anymore. I know personally for me, I just didn't care about, especially like, I'm always like questioning stuff like, okay,
mhm,
let's say this whole pandemic is real. Do I really want to like spend my last days like trying to be relevant like on the
right.
internet? Like through all that, like so but yeah, we then all of a sudden things started opening up and people still gave a shit, and we went and wrote and put out the album, and here we are.
How long, like, because I know Ash was writing for a while. How long writing wise was she writing the record?
It was a while, like when everything was shut down for like 3 years. I want to say like maybe 3 4 years, because like I think it kind of started before we left for tour
Hmm.
in 19, and then we took some time off, and then slowly we get back in. We get some writing and then just kind of drop, and then come back in, get some writing done, and then just drop, and come back to old songs, and then just revive them from what they were to where we were at that point.
Yeah. And then with the track listing, did you have any say with Ash? Because I know Ash puts a lot of the say with a lot of the things.
No, no, but I didn't really have any objections.
It turned out good. I just figured I'd ask since you were part of the studio time too. You know.
Yeah, no, that's all her, and yeah, I didn't have any objections to it. It was cool with me.
It turned out well. Going back to like playing shows, except for Warp Tour, is there any festivals over the years that have became your favorite to play when getting asked to play them?
Ooh, any of these Danny Wimmer festivals are just
Right.
awesome. I mean, because those are like, I always look whenever we get announced for that. I'm like, all right, which one are we on today? And I'm always in the back of my head like, please be the Kiss one, please be the
Right.
Pantera one. But I was so excited because this last one we got to do, we got to play with Misfits,
Hmm.
Motley Crue, and Priest, and Anthrax. So I mean, yeah,
Awesome.
anything where I get to see like these legendary, iconic bands, and just be peers with them is absolutely mind blowing, and the way that they treat their artists is
Yeah.
awesome. You know,
Um,
it's very humbling and very surreal at the same time.
Makes sense. He puts a lot of effort into it. What I thought was funny is when I remember they announced it and you posted it, and I was like, dude, congrats. And you're like, I just wish I would land on a Kiss night. He always puts us on the Slipknot night.
We do, and like don't get me wrong, I love Slipknot, but like I've seen him so many times. Like I want to see Kiss, and I just want to tell my mom I played a show with Kiss.
That's fun. I'll never forget that. That's like one of the funniest things. But he puts on the best festivals, I'll say.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm glad he
The
always
last
puts you on
year
them.
on, like Mr. Bungle was playing. You know, our boys in the Tray was out there. It was so great. And then just like seeing like your tour buddies, and, you know, like the crew guys that are
Yeah,
on tours that like, you know, do the festival circuit too. It's like a big reunion. It's the coolest thing.
I bet. And then with touring so much, is there any bands that became your favorite to tour with?
Oh yeah, most of them turn out to be like the coolest people. Like Lacuna Coil, this past tour was just like some of the sweetest cats. You know, they were so nice and so cool and so accommodating. Even their crew was awesome. Um, there's only been a few bands who like, you know, if I hit them with my car, I wouldn't be upset. But most of the people have been absolutely amazing. Like I remember Hailstorm being one of the greatest people that we've toured with. Just so nice, so sweet. Yeah.
So if I see like a blabbermouth thing, Nikki Misery hits blah 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 band with their car, I know the reason why. Is that the
Yeah,
thing?
I'm gonna have like a picture like this.
Like, um, and then still talking about touring, you've been touring with New Year's Day for over 10 years now. Is there anything you still learn with touring or with the band you tour with?
Absolutely. It's funny because a lot of it is patience and communication, like
Okay.
things I think most adults already know. But the musical world and touring world's a giant neverland. You know, like we never grow up, and it's cool because like, you know, we still get in like little fights, and so I have to have like little meetings and stuff, and like, guys, like, you know, what the fuck's going on with us? But it's just so cool, you know, because like we're all a team. It's all this giant relationship. We all get you know, I don't want to say egos, but you know, we all have an idea of something, but it's very cool. I'm very proud of us and this group and this unit that we got, because there's hardly like little to no like animosity or fights or like headbutts, and yeah, it's great. And usually I live off that stuff too. You know, I didn't get the last name Misery just because it sounded cool. You know, I used to be a real pain in the ass and a hard head, and it's cool to have that. I guess I don't want to say maturity, but I guess it's that.
So when did your name become Nikki Misery then?
Uh, Oddly enough, when I was in my early 20s,
Mhm.
very much in the world of controlled substances, and I just under this impression that if you are happy, you're a tool, and you were already dead. And for some reason, I just was under this impression that if you weren't in misery, then you weren't worth it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I got this name, and I was constantly just doing bad things, and then it just became like this alter ego on stage per se. Like, you know, I could be the human part of me, but that's my therapy, and that's where I'm gonna let out my aggression and stuff like that.
And when going on stage, do you have to get in a mindset like to get your alter ego going, or?
Absolutely, absolutely. That usually takes a couple shots of bourbon, but you know,
That's funny.
I,
And
I
then
I used to call it like when I'd be at work, I'm like, dude, this is like Clark Kent to Satan up there. You know, like this is my daily bugle job.
so does that mean when you're bartending and if you do have a few shots of bourbon, then Nikki Misery does come out? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
then I'll start kicking cups and throwing things and stomping
Right.
on the bar mats.
That's worth seeing, not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, the patrons do love it. They do love a good show.
And then you've been on 4 of the 5 albums. If you can, would you rank them from your favorite to your least favorite you've been on? Yes.
Okay, so this last one is obviously my number one.
Mhm.
I love that one. My second would be Malevolence. Third, Victim to Villain, and fourth would be Unbreakable.
And not a bad pick. I'm surprised Unbreakable is not higher up there because that was where most of your hits kind of came from in the beginning. It seemed
Yeah,
like.
that's when Unbreakable was more so like I kind of see things like from its touring history at that time.
Yeah.
This new album, just because, you know, like the unit of this band, you know, everybody's so awesome. You know, having Jeremy and Brandon back
Mhm.
is just obviously a breath of fresh air. Like we feel like New Year's Day again,
Yeah.
and you know, adding Tommy into this, who's this explosive, just
Insane drummer.
madman of energy and thunder, and like what an incredible drummer. And just like the tours have been awesome. It's like it's got that mainstream more professional, but still with the ruckus of what Malevolence was. And Malevolence would usually be my number one, but that was like our very dark punk rock, nihilistic, destructive, insane period. Yeah, that was a wild one, a wild tour, a wild time. And unfortunately, towards that end, with after that was Unbreakable. That was kind of the end of what a bit where like New Year's Day died. Unfortunately, like the boys left to pursue their own travels. We had Austin. It was kind of like our Metallica Load album. We all cut our hair.
Dang.
Yeah, it was different. It was cool. They had some great tunes on it. But it just didn't feel like what New Year's Day was and what got me so excited about it. And of course, Victims of Villain, because that was like our first real step in the direction.
And then, do you ever see yourself bringing back the crazy makeup phase you went through? Because you don't really put on a lot of makeup anymore.
We've actually started getting a little bit wilder again. I kind of push. It's like yes and no. I did love all that wild makeup, but it was a statement for then. Although ours now is a bit different, not as wild in some areas, but I guess it's just the right amount it needs to be for, I guess, the attitude the album's portraying.
That makes sense. And with you playing all these songs over the years, do they still hit you the same when you perform them live?
Yeah, sometimes even more so. And I remember Malevolence used to hit me. Like that was a very emotional song for me. Like what we were going through at that time. I've broken a lot of guitars on that one because I remember we would do like this kind of prayer during like where there's no instruments, just Ash singing.
Yeah.
And when it kicks back in, like I wouldn't even play the part. I would take off my guitar and stomp on it. And sometimes I hit it too hard and I break that neck and like, oh shit, there we go. But yeah, like some of these songs just get wild. Like I remember bringing back, because we stopped playing fucking Pantera's cover of Hostile for a bit. And one of the reasons why is when we play that, when it would come in on the I would take the guitar and slam it on my leg. And again, I don't go easy on these guitars, and I would break the neck and I'm like, gotta pick another guitar. And sometimes I would go through my backup guitars within the first week, and then like the whole rest of the month of the tour, like I got to be very easy on it. But yeah, they still hit me the same. I still get like this, I don't want to say violent tendencies, but violent tendencies with the guitar, because I want to get that explosion. I want to give a real show, and that element of danger that I think's been missing from rock shows.
I agree. Like you see, it's better than watching someone just stand there and be like, you're like all over the place, slamming your guitar, slamming your foot, throwing the guitar in the air. You're doing everything, man.
Yeah, I'm doing what I can.
I bet your endorsers hate you though.
Huh?
I bet your endorsers hate you though for your guitar situation.
I've heard some things. I'll just go with that.
They're like, this guy broke another guitar? What the hell? That's the 8th one we sent this week.
Yeah. I wonder what they really think. I would love to are you serious? I feel so bad too, because I spit on the guitars too, and I get real disgusting with them. Like I'm talking like a big wad. And I don't clean it off after, they just go straight back in the box, and that's how I play. And sometimes I feel bad when these guys have to, when I go to get like the guitar repairs and they got to clean up everything. I guess it's better than all the blood that used to be on it.
Yeah, probably. And then, what would if you could make your set list, what would a perfect set list for you be?
Ooh, how long's the set we're playing?
Let's do a headlining set.
Well, I still like what we're kind of doing now. I would take out, Vampire, Half Black Heart, Come For Me. I do love the choreography on Shut Up, Fearless, I'm About to Break You, I'm No Good, Left Inside, Done With You, bring some old ones with Do Your Worst, the Haunted Mansion core song. I keep forgetting what they named it on the album. Oh yeah, Any Last Words, Kill or Be Killed. Can I just play all the songs?
Yeah. How about like a 4-day festival? Right? Just New Year's Day, 4 days in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Time to call Ash. Try to make it happen. I'm just kidding.
Oh man. I'm telling her now.
I think hey, she would be down to do 50, 60 songs. She was doing that with the Hexens for that Knott's Berry Farm thing. I couldn't believe that shit. That's
Yeah, they had to do 3 different sets too, so she had to learn a lot of songs.
that's insane. And then performing live, do you have any favorite parts of the song or set you love playing?
Yeah, like because like I said, we really love to give a rock and roll show, so we add like choreography, different moves, like things to accent, just to give just to give some eye candy. But stuff like "Shut Up," I think is really interesting. Where like mainly for the verse, we completely freeze until like one of us plays a part. Like Brandon will come in first, and then he'll kind of move.
Yeah.
And we just always have these funny visualizations. That like any like the crazy head bangs, like when we do hostile, we're just coming just really
Yeah.
hard, and our heads just going up and down. I don't know how our necks don't hurt as much. But yeah, anything with some wild and fun choreography, and it's fun because the more we play it, the more we want to accent and make it more and bigger. So yeah.
Makes sense. And I cannot not do this interview without bringing up Rhea Ripley. Come on, like,
Right.
so you guys recorded her entrance song. How did that come about? I know she's a huge fan of you guys. I heard her saying that.
Yeah, so Ash was doing a songwriting in LA, and I wasn't there for that day, but they were working on a song. I can't remember what song it was, but like I don't think this song was actually going anywhere. And they kind of realized that, and this guy was like, "Hold on, I got some dudes over here who might be able to help out with something." So Ash is just sitting there. The guys go, they come back, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to introduce you to these cats. These 2 dudes who, unbeknownst to Ash, also does a lot of like the songs for wrestlers." And they were working on some. They really loved her voice, and they're like, "Hey, we want to offer you this." And that's when they did Hostile. But Hostile was done by them. It was Nothing New Year's Day, so that was like a full-on Ash Costello song. And yeah, we were lucky enough and blessed enough to be able to go perform that live for WrestleMania, which was our first show back from COVID. So that was pretty wild.
Did you guys do any rehearsals before that? Because I know that I watched something on it. They said that you guys didn't get to rehearse with her, and like you guys did the kick, and she missed it. Da 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 da.
Yeah, so we only got to, in a sense, rehearse it because funny story. They only wanted At first they only wanted Ash to come out and sing to a recorded track, and Ash like, no, I need a band for this. Yeah. So she asked if I wanted to come. She asked Frankie. Frankie, I don't think really responded much after that. But I was like, fuck yeah, absolutely. LP was drums at the time, and he was like, yeah. And 2 days before he bowed out of it, and was like, I can't remember his reasoning, but like, okay. And I was looking around for a drummer, and I found Tommy, and I hit him up. I was like, hey man, would you be open to do this? Because I didn't know any other drummers. Like, I've exhausted my list of drummers, especially last minute, who wouldn't want a giant paycheck over something that none of us are getting paid for.
I mean, it's a memory at least.
Huh?
It's a hell of a memory. I wouldn't want to be paid to play Wrestle fucking Mania. Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're telling me, like, I'm like, dude, this is not payment enough. But yeah, he was in. He learned the song in a few hours, and then we kind of just did this little rehearsal room. Jammed it out a couple times, just me, him, and Ash on vocals, and then we bought the tickets and pretty much flew out the next day. And as for like an actual stage rehearsal, we did not get any of that because just the rain, the pyro. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking. And I remember being on stage, not even noticing any of the pyro. And Ash was, I remember Ash mentioning like, oh yeah, the pyro scared me. I'm like, there's fire? It's like, yeah. And like going back looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's funny, man. It was just that loud. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was gnarly.
And you guys got to wear her vest. I thought that was cool that she asked you to wear her vest. Like, that's honorable right there, man.
That was super cool. I in one of my leather jackets, one of her spikes fell off, and I have it. And it's like one of these things I still keep just as a remember from that day.
I mean, that makes sense. That's like one of the coolest things. Like, you got to play WrestleMania, man.
Yeah. And all of us, or at least Ash, Tommy, and I, we all got like little WrestleMania tattoos with like the 37.
Nice.
And with like the little Bucks logo. So just to kind of like remember that moment.
That was gonna be one of my questions. If you got any like, like memorable tattoos from with New Year's Day or on tour with New Year's Day, that was.
We actually have we actually have a bunch. Like I remember our first headline tour, we all got like the Malevolence tallies, and then a bunch of us we got the Noose. Or how do I do things? The Noose because we were gonna hang out forever.
Yeah.
Um, me, Brandon, and Jeremy, we all got day one because when they joined, they have this inside thing with us with day one. So we got that. So every day is like a day one. Shoot, yeah. DLTP from when we used to tour with. Okay, I don't know how to do these reversal things, but yeah, DLTP was like this. Daddy likes to party from when we used to tour with Escape the Fate. Just a lot of like inside jokes and stuff with us.
That's crazy. Like that's cool. You have like a lot of cool tattoos you've gotten over the years with touring with your band.
Yeah, it's wild. Like I'm sitting there looking around, like, oh yeah, I remember that.
That's cool. And then going back to WWE, you guys played Vampire on Halloween Havoc. How did that happen?
So ever since Ash did the Rhea Ripley, we've kept in touch with the promoters and the guys that got us in, and we've just kept a really great relationship with them. And after we did WrestleMania, they were so stoked on us and our professionalism and just going like rolling with all the punches that we got that day. Because we didn't get to do any kind of sound check, any kind of rehearsal. It was just like, okay, we're live, go. Like unfortunately this is it, and we're like, cool. Gotta do what we gotta do. Like it's showbiz, baby. But yeah, so they asked us and we went back like last minute. We recorded those 2 songs. They played it. What was it, like 2 days in a row, something like that? Yeah, but that was a wild experience too.
Dang. You've experienced a lot of cool things. And then talking about wrestling, I know you love wrestling yourself. What are your 5 favorite old school or new school wrestlers?
Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna have to go with Hulk Hogan because I was the one from when I was a kid, got me into it. The Rock back in like the Raw SmackDown days was one of the best trash talkers, and if anybody knows me, knows I love a good shit talking. And he was so good. I did love the Dudley Boys.
Cool.
Ultimate Warrior.
Hell yeah.
One of the jams and one of my favorite. Oh my god, Hawkeye and was it Hawkeye and Animal?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember their tag team name.
I can't remember. It slipped my mind, but I know who you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. And then the Bushwhackers were awesome. All the old school ones, like that was like some of my favorite, like Sergeant Slaughter, Iron Sheik, and then going into like Dudley Boys. Oh, dude, RVD, Sandman from ECW, Undertaker. Well, you said 5, right?
You can name 50. It's okay. 50's all right. I understand. I love wrestling, so I understand your.
Yeah, that was rad. Yeah, and Ash, like obviously Ash is still cool with them. Like they invited her to one of the NXT things. They brought us out to SummerSlam sometime after, which was really cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, but they've been awesome to us, and they've been so kind to us, and yeah, I love them.
I'll never forget. I think you posted it. You guys went out to Vegas, and Rhea Ripley comes out. She sees you in the crowd. She's like, ah.
yeah, that's when they invited us to SummerSlam.
That's funny, but that's cool.
That was so cool. That was so cool. And it was wild as when we were walking around WrestleMania. And this is how nice these people are. Like they don't have to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the hosts, and I don't know the people nowadays, unfortunately, but he comes out, he's like, oh, hey, how you guys doing, man? Thank you guys so much for coming. They're treating us like we're the stars. I'm like, dude, you guys. He's like, hold on right here. I want you to meet someone. So he goes out, and we're sitting there like, wow, this is so cool. He comes out with freaking Hulk Hogan.
Damn.
And I'm like, no way. And Hulk comes out, I was like, man, I just really want to thank you guys for coming. He goes to shake my hand. It's like, this giant hand on and just my pinky of an arm just all right. But and they were so cool, so nice.
So I have to ask, how far did your jaw drop when they brought Hulk Hogan out?
You could hear it. It hit the floor. Oh, speaking of, look, that's the little Rhea Ripley spike.
Aw, I bet she enjoys that, man. And I know you guys are still cool with Rhea Ripley till this day. You guys
absolutely, yeah, she's way rad.
I still kind of bummed you guys weren't part of the mommy phase, but whatever. That would have been sick.
Okay, I need to be a mommy. I'm all right.
So you guys hit over 1 million streams with the newest single. Well, not the newest single, when it was new, when it came out a few months ago. since like releasing music since 2018. How was that feeling for you guys?
That's awesome. I didn't even know that happened. Uh,
Really?
yeah, that's cool. I guess like I don't know how what's considered a success nowadays because like you could go viral and you'll be big for 10 minutes and after that nobody cares who you are. But that's still a freaking awesome and crazy number.
I thought you guys knew because like I wrote some of these questions like a while ago, so that's why it kind of came out weird. But I thought that was really cool that you guys
That
did
I
that.
know that is awesome. That is awesome. I'm like I get so I don't know like I don't have like my finger on the pulse of like what's cool and what's happening. Um, and our record label at the time because thankfully we are free now.
No Century
But
Media
yeah,
recorded the last one with them.
yeah, and we're finally fucking free from their terrible grasps of absolutely doing nothing to help us. So
I think you guys should stay free, to be honest with you. I think you guys can move more. I feel like you guys had zero wiggle room. And like, I talk to people about you guys a lot. And I feel like I don't know why you guys aren't bigger. And I've told you this. I don't get why you guys are an opener band when you guys can easily be a headliner band.
yeah, we you know
I'll never understand it. It's confuses the shit out of me because you guys actually put on a show compared to most bands.
yeah, it's things with labels, management, and booking agents, and it's terrible to sometimes trust other people with your career.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast, and I'm not that educated in it, unfortunately. So one of my biggest advice to people is to just stay in as much as you can, you know, like in the knowing, and be as educated on the business side as terrible and shitty as it is, so you don't get stuck in these terrible contracts and relying on people who are more concerned about lining their own pockets than helping you
Yeah.
out.
Like I said, because for a while you guys didn't do anything, and that confused me a lot too. I was like, dude, you guys easily one of those bands that should be touring
Yeah,
at least 5-6 months out of the year, and you guys don't even do that.
yeah, it blows my mind. We put out an album and
Only done what, one tour, 2 tours?
yeah, one tour. There was no merch for it. So I'm
That's.
really hoping to get off this terrible merch company too. And
I hope you guys do. You guys deserve more, man. You guys just do. So you've accomplished so much already with your career. What else do you have on your bucket list?
um, I don't really think I have a bucket list. Just the fact that like if I get to play another show, man, that's awesome. And if that's where it ended, I've already lived out my dreams. You know, I've toured with people who've inspired me, like who've actually inspired me, who I used to look up to. Yeah, just the fact that I'm just gonna keep going until people don't give a shit anymore. Then
And then what would your top 3 your favorite career situations that have happened already be for you?
opening up for Ozzy was
Mhm.
super rad. Being able to play with Marilyn Manson because that was one of my biggest inspirations
Mhm.
growing up, and yeah, being able to tour with a legend like Vinnie Paul when he was with Hell Yeah. One of the festivals we played, one of his crew guys invited us on the bus, which is the Pantera bus,
Dang.
and I remember being on there and we're just like, wow, like looking around. He pours us, a few shots. And then Vinny comes on the bus, like, hey, let's all have a shot, We're like, I'm like, wow. And like I was sitting there looking at this Kiss Destroyer thing. He's like, yeah, Gene gave me that. And I was like, dude, so cool.
That's
Yeah, those three were like some of my legendary things. I'm gonna do one more. I remember it was 2017 Warp Tour,
Mhm.
and I do this thing where like I get on my knees and like I lean back where my head's on the floor
Yeah.
backwards, and I look back and Tony Adolescent, the singer of the Adolescents, was like watching us play and he was rocking out, getting down. So it's just things like that, like
That's
wow.
cool as fuck. That's cool. And then I like to ask bands, what would their dream tour lineup be?
Gosh, I don't know. Now I just want to say like Kiss, Pantera, Crew, Manson, Judas Priest, and we'll be somewhere in the middle. One actually, I just really want to tour with my friends. So if I could tour with Creeper, because we've never did an actual tour with Creeper, I would love
Mhm.
that.
That'd be cool. That'd
Yeah,
be really
I don't need
interesting.
anything huge. Although I just named some of the biggest, most legendary bands. Yeah, just
I was gonna follow that with if you would have them play like certain records, but then you went back to I just want to play with my friends.
yeah. I just totally 180 that. Like, yeah, let me just get all these legacy legendary people, but I just want to play with my friends.
Right. Hey, but that would have been cool anyways. You played with some of these on festivals anyways already, you know? But as a
Yeah.
tour, it'd be sick.
Yeah, so
Um,
we always like to say that, I mean, we opened for him. Like, technically, we opened the stage for Ozzy, even though we weren't direct, but, we opened.
it's still a thing. I mean, like you were there, you're on the same stage type
Yeah.
of shit. Like it's same thing. You're walking the same shit he's walking.
Yeah.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh, practice more, try harder. I always want to say, like, don't be afraid, because man, like, fear is such a killer. You could ignore it, you could push past it, but man, it's always going to be there. And quit letting yourself stand in your way.
That's some good advice. That's some really great advice, actually.
Yeah. Same time, like your younger self, you went through all these trials to be who you are now. And granted, I would love to skip it and be more evolved now, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I almost want to don't tell myself anything. Just
I mean,
do
you
it to
still
do it
landed
better.
good. You still landed good. You landed in a decently big band. You tour the world. You make records. Some of them go on vinyls.
Yeah,
Shit.
exactly. Like I obviously made some good choices. And what if I told myself something that was like very positive and I ended up not doing any of that?
Then you become a clean streak guy. No long hair. No tattoos. You're
Yeah,
wearing like
I
ties
became
and
a doctor.
imagine. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
Doctor.
Um, wouldn't be misery anymore. Imagine.
You get my
Dang.
full name.
That would be crazy. That would be very interesting to see you as a doctor, not gonna lie.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. For someone listening to New Year's Day for the first time, what 5 songs would you suggest them to listen to?
Vampire, Hurts Like Hell, Done With You, I'm No Good, because I fucking love that song. Kill Would Be Killed.
Solid list. And I'd like to thank you for being on my show and taking your time to be with me.
Oh, Emily, thank you. Thanks
It's
for having
always awesome.
me. Thanks for wanting to talk to me.
Hey, you're a fun interview. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'm gonna end this. See everyone next interview.